Hi everybody, I wanted to do a quick beginner's guide about where you are guaranteed to find food in DayZ, on the Chernarus map anyway, not on Livonia but on Chernarus, because as a fresh spawner, and especially if you're new to the game, this can be a little bit confusing. And we all know, you've got to look inside houses and buildings, domestic buildings, to find like tins of food and maybe some chips and maybe some jam and stuff like that. But where you always want to be trying is around these things, fruit trees. And the way that the fruit spawning system works means you might not find food the first time you have a look, but when you're looting an area, if you come back to those trees, you may well then, on second sights if you like, find some fruit. So for example, I've been looting this area here, just having a wander around, and when I first got to this area there was no food here. But as you can see now, stuff has started to spawn. Now this is an apple. Now this is dried, so it's okay to eat this. It won't have as much nutrition as a fresh apple, but it's pretty good. And the good thing about being dried is it's not going to go rotten and go off. Let's wander over to this fruit tree here, and here we have a pear. Let's put that in there. Let's have a look at this pear. Now once you've picked up a few fruit, you kind of get used to what they look at. So although this is damaged, it's raw, it's not rotten, so it's okay to eat. So now we have a pear. And now let's wander over here. We've got to watch out for zombies, and let's see what we've got underneath these trees. Nothing underneath that one. We have a pear. All right, okay, so we've got a fresh pear there that we can take. Now this is a rotten pear, so we don't want to be eating this. You'd only want to eat this if you were really about to die. Otherwise you want to leave that one alone. And let's have a look. What have we got underneath here? Here we have another pear, so let's get rid of that one, and this one is fine. And there we go. So in a very short space and location, we have picked up we got 3 pears, which is pretty good, isn't it? Now I'll say again, the thing about these pears is they weren't here when. Excuse me. They weren't here when I first got to this location. However, by wandering around, you give the game a chance to spawn in the pears and apples and plums. And the way that I kind of justified this is it's a bit like your character, on first look, they didn't see them. But when they've come back, they've seen them there. And then you can do that. Or maybe they've fallen off the tree in the time that you've been wandering around. Now, identifying these trees can be a little bit tricky. I'll put a link in the description below the video to various pages on the DayZ wiki, the unofficial wiki, that kind of have pictures of these different trees. But generally the way to find them is they tend to be in people's gardens, in normally a fenced off area. Often you'll find them in orchards, and when you look up into them, some of them you can actually see the pears and the fruit kind of in a very low res manner. Yeah, we can't really see it in these, but that's the other way. But generally what I do is, as I'm going around a village or a town, when you're going out in the back garden and you're looking in the shed, you're looking in the outbuildings and stuff, have a first look round the tree and then go back to those tree areas. Here we go, you can see it better on this one. So you can see this is definitely a pear tree. Can you see the pears? And then have a look around the base of the tree. There we go, we've got another pear there. And it's a dried pear. Brilliant, so we know that one's going to last a long, long time. And although fruit don't give you very much nutrition, long term, they'll give you enough energy to survive short term, to give you enough time to keep on hunting through the houses to find maybe some tin fruit, but more importantly to find things like knives and guns so you can go hunting. Because where the real energy comes from for your character is when you find like a hen and you cut it up, and then you roast some chicken breasts, or you get a gun and you can go and hunt down a deer and then get some deer meat inside you, and then you'll really be able to top up your your energy levels and your food levels. So when you're a fresh spawn and you're going through the towns and villages, look at the trees once, loot the area, come back to them. Now the other thing that it's worth looking for are mushrooms. Now mushrooms spawn in and around hay bales and haystacks. So wherever there's any hay, like the round ones in fields or the piles of hay at the sides of the fields, have a look round them. But again, it's another case of have a look at them, loot the surrounding area, then come back to them, and you may well have found some mushrooms have spawned. There aren't any dangerous mushrooms in DayZ at the moment as I'm recording the video. Also, as you're in the forests, you'll get mushrooms spawning as well. So again, just keep an eye out as you're running along, but just to see if anything's spawning around. Because again, although they don't give you loads of nutrition, they will give you enough to keep you alive for a little bit. And also they can be cooked to give you a little bit more nutrition, or they can be dried so that they will last a lot longer. Okay, so there we go. My big tip. Look for the fruit trees, look in people's back gardens, look around them once, loot the area, come back, and you'd be surprised how much fruit you can very quickly pick up to top up that food meter for your character. Anyway, that's enough from me. Hopefully you found this useful. If you have, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.